So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Maxim, and I change people's lives by talking out of my ass, and somehow people find it valuable. And this is probably something you didn't expect me to say right now, because who actually says that? And this is exactly what I'm going to be talking about in this video. It's pattern interruption, and I've had to actually learn this in the most retarded way possible by knocking doors and trying to get people to listen to me for like 5 seconds before they slam the door in my face or cuss me out with every single insult under the sun, and then still slam the door in my face. And yeah, I get it, it's annoying, but let's just get past that part. So first off, whenever you're trying to interrupt the pattern, why do you want to do it in the first place? Because nobody wants to fucking listen to you if you're boring. And this is coming from an absolute introvert, someone who's been called, I have socially autistic tendencies. I don't even know what that means, but I've been told that by so many people. And the cool thing is, lean into it. Become the interesting person. If you're weird, if you're awkward, if you're having trouble talking, I swear, I literally just unlocked this like a couple of years back. I used to be unable to say shit. And this is just one of the things I'll be talking about. So one of the easiest way for you to become a more interesting person is to use pattern interrupts. And I know this sounds scary, especially if you're someone who is a basement dweller and doesn't speak to people. And I know for people who are Gen Z and younger, I'm also Gen Z, I'm 26 right now. But the point is, well, not me anymore, but you guys suck at speaking to people. And not only that, if you do speak to people, you rehearse the same line in your head. I know I used to do this. And then you go up and you say the most mundane shit. You want to talk to that girl, so you come over and say, "Hi, how are you?" What? What? You know when girls randomly don't respond? If you're ever texting them on a dating app or online, and you're like, why are all these chicks not responding? Do they just sleep for 16 hours a day? Because they always say they're sleeping after like a week, right? It's because you're not interesting, or because what you said was not interesting. And I'm not saying you have to change your whole identity just to be liked by someone. What I'm saying is, lean into that identity. Essentially, just say shit that people won't expect you to say. Use your brain's creativity. Don't sit there and say, no, I'm not actually creative. Yes, you are. I'll give you the easiest examples. Whenever somebody asks me, hey, how are you? Just a random stranger. Maybe you're at work. Maybe just anybody. You're trying to order a drink and someone says, hi, how are you? What would you like, right? I swear I will just pull something out of my ass. Very often I say, especially if it's a coworker and I kind of know them, I kind of don't. You know, these weird coworker relationships where you're like, you're kind of friends at work because that's the only people you work with. So you talk, but you never hang out outside of work. Someone's going to hit me, hi, how are you doing today? Bro, I'm not a customer. Don't ask me that shit. Right? Or you hit them with the, did you just try to small talk me? Anything. And I know it sounds cringe, I swear. Yeah, let's get over it. I know it sounds kind of cringe when I'm just saying this to you guys, but I'm telling you, you'll never catch my ass giving a pre-programmed answer like an NPC. Hi, how are you? Good, how are you? Who the fuck cares? Let's get past it. I don't want to talk about that. Nobody wants to talk about it. People just say it because it's socially acceptable. But it doesn't have to be this way. Just because it's socially acceptable, well, guess what? It's socially acceptable to be boring and to basically be attracted to people or be magnetized by people who say weird shit. I'm telling you, to be more interesting, say weird shit. You know, when people ask me what do I do for a living, I shit you not, I've given the most stupidest answers. This one time, my girlfriend's coworkers, I met them at this one place, at this one event. We were going to a concert. And they're like, oh, okay, this is your boyfriend. Hi, yeah, my name is Maxim, yeah. Like, okay, what do you do for a living? And before anyone else can say anything, I say, actually, I'm a professional archer. I have like a bow and arrow, and I shoot targets. What? Like, what even is that? No, seriously, what even? I don't even know what I just said. And most people don't either, but the point is it creates curiosity, mystery, and why the hell is this guy so confident to tell me such a bullshit answer? People know it's bullshit. But it's a pattern interrupt. Their brain goes like, hold on, This isn't an NPC. This is a main character we're speaking to. Like, hold on. Pattern interrupts are so effective. And I'm telling you this because how do you think I had to learn to stop people from closing the doors on me? As I just mentioned in the start of this video, how do you think I got them to stop closing doors on me? And this is one thing that I used to teach other salespeople on the sales floor, to use pattern interrupts. And I swear I had this new guy who was like, nobody will speak to me. And I'm like, bro, just say something so out of the blue. They'll be forced to listen to you because they're so interested. Like, no way this guy just said that. Like, absolutely no way. Whenever somebody at work asks me, hey, yeah, do you want to just do this for me real quick? Hey, can you do me a favor? Hey, do you want to just fill this out for me? It's such a bullshit corporate language. Who the fuck says that? Everybody. You know what my response is? I'll think of something off the top of my head, something that I've said so many times already. Someone asks me, hey, do you mind helping me fill this out real quick? I'll just look at them. Actually, I do mind. I wasn't planning to do this. I don't want to do this, but I'll help you because it's my job. I have nowhere else to go, right? And they're just like, oh, whatever, what the hell, weird. But the point is you're breaking their pattern. You're suddenly an interesting person. I'm not saying to be interesting you have to be weird, but to be interesting you have to be different. And to be different, this is one way you can do that. And if this is your style, if you're that social autist, if you're someone who literally has no idea how to communicate, at least throw these weird things out there. I know you have a weird brain that comes up with the weirdest shit to say. Just say it. And be confident when you're saying it, because if you say this without confidence, like you're nervous and your voice kind of shakes and you don't really hit the punchline, you're just gonna make it even worse for yourself. You'll sound like an absolute. We'll leave it at that. So anything, I'm trying to think of examples for you guys. Hey, can you do me a favor real quick? I never say, oh yeah, sure, what's up? Why? Who am I performing for? I actually take time to think about this if I want to do someone a favor. Hey, can you do me a favor real quick? They're saying this on autopilot. How do you break their autopilot? I take a step back and I'm like, actually depends. You have to tell me first and then I'll decide if I agree to the favor or not. Like anything that just sounds different. Just say anything that sounds fucking different. I cannot say this enough. And one thing is, by the way, to mention, I'm building a community right now where I teach you exactly how to unlock an extroverted side of you. If you guys haven't realized this by now, I am the most introverted person actually that I know. And I thought being an extrovert or stepping out of your comfort zone, all these cringy terms, I thought that was fake of me. But when I actually built up from scratch, from the ground up, put on the right skills, stacked the entire skill tree that every extrovert is born with, I built that and I can flip that on any time that I feel like, or any time that I need to when I'm in a social setting. And that way I don't lose. Like I don't lose interactions because I don't share my ideas or end up doing something I don't want to do just because I didn't speak up. I speak up all the time. If anyone's speaking, it's going to be me. And yeah, I know it sounds crazy because people actually tell me, you're not a fucking extrovert. You speak all the time and you always say what's on your mind and you actually have no remorse for people. You don't care what they're going to think of you. And the truth is, it's not fully true, because I have a whole introverted side of me that I just don't show to people because that's me on my own. But there's nothing worse than being an introvert, having all this potential, having these great ideas and not being able to put yourself forward. So check out the link in the description. I am building the course as we speak, so this is as cheap as it will ever be, because once I have so much life-changing content inside of that community, I'm going to charge for it whatever I feel like charging for it. And if you think that's too expensive, either join right now or miss out forever and just stay introverted and whatever. Don't experience a better life. Be afraid of talking to women. Whatever you want to do. Can I help you? You ever go to a fast food place, a restaurant? Hey, how can I help you? Have you actually taken the time to break that down? Do you just answer, Oh yeah, I'd like the strawberry ice matcha latte. What? Do you want to flirt with the bartender or not? Or do you want to at least stand out? Do you want to say something different, something funny, something stupid, something cringy, something awkward? What are you going to say? I never answer what they expect me to answer. Hi, how can I help you? Honestly, I'm not sure if you can help me, but one thing I know that you can do for me, I think you're pretty good at this, is I'd like you to make me a drink. And they're like, oh, bruh, no shit, that's my job. And like, ha 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 ha. We laugh a little bit and we move on. It's that easy. Just break their pattern, right? And I just had a brain fart. Let me just have some tea real quick. Also, guys, I don't know how you guys watch my videos. In which setting? Is it on your phones? Is it while you're driving? Do you just listen? Do you actually watch? I don't know, but when you tune in, yeah, actually, if you guys could let me know how you actually watch my content, it would be interesting because I can actually position it to be more that way. For example, when I watch videos like this, back in the day, I used to consume a lot of content of people talking, of podcasts. I would only listen when I'm working, when I'm driving, when I'm working out. I wouldn't actually sit down and watch. But maybe some of you guys have the time for that and you sit down and you feel like maybe you're someone that doesn't have a lot of friends and you feel like you're somewhat relatable to myself and you feel like I'm actually talking to you and I'm talking into your soul and I'm staring into your eyes, whatever it is. Maybe that does it for you, or maybe you're like, yeah, I'll just put something on in the background. I don't know, I don't care, but hopefully I can actually make an impact on some of you guys and help you see things a little bit differently because there's a lot of things in this world that, at least as introverts, that I did not experience until lately. In fact, my life got proportionally better the better my communication skills were. And communication skills is such a bullshit term because it's such a big umbrella term. I hate it when people say or write on the resumes communication skills. Like, yeah, I know how to ask a question. Like, this is not communication skills. I mean, how to actually socialize, how to actually be extroverted when I need to, how to actually sell myself, put myself forward, put my ideas forward, persuade people. When I got better at that, my life just passively improved, which makes me look down at my younger self and think, what the hell were you doing, bro? Like, did you really think going to the store and asking the cashier, oh, how do you think the weather is today? And that small talk is going to build your social skills? It's not. Or at least not unless you do it 1,000 times in like a week, right? You need to do lots of repetition. So when I'm telling you guys, use these pattern interrupts, I mean, give yourself a week. And this is the only thing you're working on. Everything else you've learned in my videos, I mean, do them, I would say, a week at a time. Because you need to grasp it. And this is how actually I learned these things. I would focus on one specific skill and spam the shit out of it. So in this case, I'm telling you, use pattern interrupts. I've given you plenty of examples. Use your creativity. My entire challenge to you guys is do not answer what people expect you to answer or how you usually answer the basic questions. Obviously, if it's a serious question, you might want to answer seriously, but most things are not that serious. Most of your day-to-day lives is just conversations that are going to be forgotten tomorrow. But what will not be forgotten is how you made them feel. They might forget that you said the cringiest response, but they will not forget that, hey, this is a fun guy, this is an interesting person. I kind of feel like talking to them again. I like when they're around because they make things fun. They're weird, or they're quirky, or they're fun, charismatic, whatever you want to call it. But do this for at least a week, and that's the only thing I want to be on your brain. Actually do this. Put this on your brain. Next time a person asks me, how am I? I'm straight up going to say anything but good, how are you? I'm telling you the dumbest shit. The other day someone asked me, hi, how are you? I said, yes. And they're like, you're yes? I am yes. Because I refuse to answer the question that is so mundane because you don't actually care about my answer, do you? You're just going to say, good, how are you? Good, how are you? Okay, and your conversation's over, right? It doesn't matter what it is, but break that pattern, and that's also going to do something for you. That's going to lead into the next step, which is like higher level skills, but you're going to be able to not feel someone's presence as in your face. Because one of the biggest reasons that I felt, at least as an introvert, that I didn't know what to say to people when I talked, or had a hard time just staying inside of a conversation with a stranger, because my mind would be like mentally blocked, if you know what I'm saying. You know, when someone's asking you something or they're a bit intimidating, your mind just goes blank and you're just thinking, okay, what do I say? And you just try to shut down the conversation. You're just trying to say an answer that's a means to an end. And one thing that does for you is it allows you to unlock a conversation going further. So you're going to say a weird answer and they're often going to respond again. And now you can go back and forth, or at least you've opened the door to going back and forth. And going back and forth with people is what allows you to build that extroverted side, because you're no longer going to be intimidated by another person's presence or someone who you think has a higher skill level at socializing than you do. So you're just, yeah, let that sink in for a second. That was a mouthful. I love this tea. I have acquired it in the mountains of Sri Lanka, of Ceylon Island. 6,000 feet in the air. Almost died 5 times on the way there. Landslides, floods, but we got our tea. Seriously, look. I even have the little tag. This is their symbol. I don't know if you can. It's not in focus. Whatever. I don't care. You guys get the point. So, what you're gonna do for basically starting right after this video, is you're gonna go and you're gonna answer questions not the way people expect you to answer. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. Just answer them differently. And I want you to think about it. It has to be a conscious effort. Do this every day. Don't just wake up tomorrow and forget and just go back to your normal life. Do this every single day for the whole week. And then you can ease off. Because what you're going to do is teach your brain to do this so often that the following weeks, you're going to end up doing this without thinking. At least sometimes. Sometimes you'll still shoot back a generic response. But sometimes you'll actually end up unconsciously, it's going to slip out of you a funny response, and you'll be like, whoa, where did that come from? Right? And you want to get it to a point where you're not thinking about it. This is just how you answer things, or you're just not a person who goes with the general flow. You interrupt patterns. You say things that other people don't think of, and that makes you a fun, interesting person. Right? You don't have to stay boring and weird. It doesn't matter what you say. Say it confidently. It's okay if you look stupid for a few times. It's gonna happen. Do you know how many times I've looked like an absolute retard when I said these things? Not even this, but standing in front of people trying to sell them something at their house. You have no idea how many times I've made a fool of myself. But do you think it matters? Do you think I care now? I don't. Nobody remembers those interactions. It's years later. And the only thing that stayed is the experience and data that my brain collected, which allowed me to build the skills necessary to navigate life at a much higher standard. That's the cool thing. I've made a fool of myself up when I was teaching people, up on the boards. Running an interviewing someone, when I accidentally went off script and accidentally said the wrong thing. It could be anything, but anyway, that's besides the point. Once again, guys, if you're finding value in this and you want even more value, where I literally give you step-by-step guides and advice and lessons and modules, whatever, all that fun stuff is in my community that I'm building right now. This is as cheap as it will ever be, because I did not bust my ass for who knows how long to give you all this knowledge, and I want the people in there who actually want to learn, right? A lot of people will watch this video. I know 90, 98, maybe even 99% of you watching this video, you guys will not do shit. You'll watch, you'll be like, yeah, he has a point, or yeah, it's kind of cringy, but I get what he's saying, and you'll go back to your normal life and not improve your social skill whatsoever. But that 1% of you that actually is thinking, this guy has a point, I want to learn more, I think his experience could actually help me, and I think I can level up my life to a better experience, a better quality of life through this. Then you're the kinds of people that I'm looking for. And inside that community I'm extremely active, and I will literally talk to you one on one, especially when it's still small. I'll be able to work one on one with people a lot more and actually tell you what you need to do for your specific situation. So I think that would be extremely valuable to people, because one of the things I've done when I ran my office is I straight up mentored my best people, which I've eventually then made into supervisors, team leaders, managers, and I've worked with them so closely. I spent hours mentoring them, and I could do the same shit for you guys, especially while it's in the early stages, because once this shit gets big, and it will, mark my words, this shit is going to get huge, I will have a lot less time and be spread a lot more thin than to be able to work one-on-one with people, or my time is going to just cost a lot more. So I'm telling you that right now, you're going to watch this slide by you, or you're going to be part of it, and you're going to participate in what I'm building. I'll see you there. Thanks for watching.